All right, welcome to Miracles Are Me Crochet. Today we are going to work on Herrschners Playful Prisim Baby Blanket. If you want to make a special blanket for a special child or baby that's super duper duper easy but looks complex, where your friends will say, oh my goodness, that looks like you put a lot of effort into it, but it's really very easy, one row repeat. This is the blanket for you. This is one of my favorite colorways right now. This yarn is Herrschner's Sweet Swirls yarn. It's a category 4 weight light yarn, machine wash and dry. This is my favorite colorway, bright baby. There are a couple other colorways in this yarn, but this is the yarn that I'm going to use. The next great thing about this is a free pattern available from Herrschners. Same name, Playful Prisim Baby Blankets. I'll put the link in the description for the free pattern. They also have a yarn pack of the yarn that you would need for this specific blanket, and it's at a reduced price than if you bought this yarn separately. But I believe that if you buy the yarn pack for this pattern, it's just this colorway, but maybe you can call them and ask them if you wanted it to make it in the other colorways. But this is absolutely gorgeous, just trust me. Okay, this is categorized as a level easy pattern, which it absolutely is. I already talked to you about the yarn. You will need a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, and let's get started. All right, we're going to make a slip knot, and to begin this pattern we need to chain 158 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and you're going to continue chaining until you have 158 chains on your hook. You may have an excited grandchild or child looking on, because my granddaughter is looking like yay, because she's been begging me to make her this blanket for quite some time now, because she absolutely loves the colors. So 158 chains on your hook. Will meet at the end. Okay, I now have 158 chains on my hook, so let's get started. We're going to turn our work so the back humps are facing up. We're going to skip this very first back hump, and we're going to single crochet in the next back hump, which would be here. And there is our single crochet. Next, we're going to skip the next chain, which is right here. So this back hump you're going to skip, and then in the next 3 chains we're going to put 1 single crochet. So that's 1 in that chain, 1 in that chain, 1 in that chain. Okay, next we're going to do a increase, which an increase is simply 3 single crochets in the same chain. So in this very next chain, we're going to put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and then that is number 3, all in that same chain. Okay, and then we're going to place 3 single crochets in each of the next 3 chains. So that's 1 single crochet, and then in the next chain we're going to put 1 single crochet, and then in the next chain 1 single crochet. And then we're going to do our decrease, which is simply skipping 1, 2 chains. So we're going to skip those 2 chains. Now let's do our repeat stitch for the remainder of your foundation row, row 1. So you're going to do skip your 2, and then you're going to put a single crochet in each of the next 3. So that's 1, 2 and 3, and then you're going to increase, which is in your very next chain. You're going to put 3 single crochets all in that next chain. Then you're going to put 3 single crochets in each of the next 3 chains. So that's 1, and then in the next chain 2, and then in the next chain 3. And then you're going to do your decrease, which is simply skipping the next 2 chains. So 1 and 2. Okay, let's do our repeat together one more time, and then you're off on your own. So we're going to skip 1, 2. We're going to put 3 single crochets in the next 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. So each of the next 3 chains just got 1 single crochet. We'll make our increase 3 single crochets in that 1 chain. So 1, 2, 3, all in the same chain. Next, 3 single crochet, a single crochet in each of the next 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to skip 2 chains. And that's your repeat. As you can see, you could start to see your ripple coming alive. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to complete this foundation row with that same pattern. You're going to do a single crochet in the next. You're going to skip 2 stitches, 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 chains. Then you're going to do your increase, which is 3 single crochets all in the next chain. Then you're going to do your next 3 chains, get 1 single crochet each, and then your decrease, which is skipping 2 stitches. And you're going to continue that all the way until you get to the last 3 chains, and then I'll meet you there. So I have just finished my foundation row. Well, I haven't finished it. I'm sorry. I still have 3 stitches left on my foundation row. So to finish out this foundation row, I have done my increase, which is the 3 single crochets in the same stitch, and then I did the next 3 chains, got 1 single crochet each. So now I have the 3 single crochets left. So this very next chain I'm going to skip, and I'm going to put a single crochet in each of the last 2 chains to finish out my foundation row. All right, and then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So now I'm going to begin my row 2, which is my 1 row repeat. Before I do, I would encourage you to make sure all your increases and decreases are aligned, which all of mine are. So just to make sure you didn't get anything off. So just check and make sure that all of your increases and decreases are falling like they should, which for me they are. Okay? So now we have our chain 1 on our hook. We're going to start on our row 2, which is our repeat. This row 2 continues throughout the pattern. You're going to continue with this row 2 until your pattern reaches about 42 inches. Once you reach that 42 inches, you're not going to fasten off or tie off, because we're going to continue with the border with the same yarn. Okay? So let's get started. So this we have our chain 1 on the hook. I'm going to make a little small modification of the pattern. So with this chain 1 on the hook, I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch, which would be right here. Okay, so 1 single crochet in both loops. In the next stitch, I'm going to put another single crochet in the very next stitch in both loops. Now the pattern doesn't say what I'm going to tell you next. I'm not sure why, but this is what I would suggest to you, is to skip the next stitch. Right here, you're going to skip this next stitch. Now from henceforth, except for the first 2 stitches and the last 2 stitches of the row, you're going to use back loops only. So the first 2 stitches and the last 2 stitches, you worked in both loops. Now you're going to work in the back loop only, and I'll show you what I mean. So these are the back loops. So this is the front, and this loop back here is the back. Okay, so this would be the front loop if you went into it, and this would be the back loop. So from now on, we're going to work in our back loops only. So if you remember, I suggested that you skip this next stitch, and you're going to do a single crochet in the next back loop, second single crochet in the very next stitch's back loop, and another single crochet, which makes the third in the next back loop. At this point, you should be at your increase right in the center. Okay, babies. They're fighting over a toy. So you're going to put in the back loop 3 single crochets in that one back loop. And then you're going to do a single crochet in the next 3 back loops. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now you're going to be at your decrease stitch from your previous row. So here's your 2 decreases that you are going to skip these 2 stitches, and in the very next stitch, back loop only, 1 single crochet, and the next stitch, back loop 1 single crochet, and then next stitch, back loop 1 single crochet. In the very next stitch, you're going to do 3 single crochets in that one back loop for your increase. And then in the next 3 back loops, you're going to put 1 single crochet. Okay, let's do that pattern, repeat one more time. We're going to skip our 2 stitches for our decrease. We're going to do 3 single crochets in the next 3 back loops. Then we're going to do our increase in the back loop, which is 3 single crochets in that one stitch. And then we're going to do 3 single crochets in the next 3 back loops. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to continue with that pattern all the way until the very end, and then the very last 3 stitches, and then I'll meet you there. So I am at the last 3 stitches of row 2, which is our row repeat, our blanket repeat really. So after this is my increase here, and then I put 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches back loop. I'm going to skip the next stitch, which is here, and in both loops of the last 2 stitches, I am going to place a single crochet. So here, both loops, here, both loops. Okay, and that's it. You're going to continue doing that for until you get to about 42 inches for your blanket. So I'll do one more with you just to show you how easy it is. So chain 1, turn your work right in this very first stitch, single crochet. In the next stitch, single crochet, both loops. Skip this stitch, unlike what the pattern says, but this is my suggestion. Skip this stitch, back loop only, single crochet in the next 3. at your increase, which is the next stitch, 3 single crochets in the same stitch. Then you're going to do 3 single crochet in the next 3 back loops. And then you're at your decrease here, so you're going to skip these stitches and then start your repeat again of 3 single crochets in the back loop of the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3. You are at your increase, so you're going to do 3 single crochets in that 1 back loop, and then 3 single crochets in the back loop of the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3 single crochets. Here's your decrease, so you're going to skip. This is a lovely pattern to work on. You can start to see, if you look closely, your ridge forming right there. You can see that. And it'll show on the back as well. So I chose this one today because I am actually traveling. So for those that don't know, I live in Puerto Rico, in Guayama, Puerto Rico, and I will be flying to the States. It's about a 3.5-hour flight. So this is a nice, easy pattern. I'm going to the States to celebrate Semana Santa, which is Easter holiday. We call it Semana Santa here. So this is a nice, easy, beautiful, and it's, guess what? It's Easter colors pattern to and a project to work on. It only uses 3 balls or 24 ounces, so it's not a lot to carry of this Sweet Swirls baby yarn that I like. So continue with your pattern. Remember, after you get to your 42 inches, do not tie off or cut your yarn, because we're going to continue with that same yarn to make our border. So happy crocheting. Bye-bye. Okay, sorry for the setup, but I am traveling for the Easter holiday, and I really wanted to get this blanket finished so I could post it for you all. So now my Playful Prisim baby blanket is a little over 42 inches. I think mine is about 44. So we're going to start on the border. So to begin the border, we're going to chain 1. This chain 1, again, it does not count as a stitch. Okay, and then we're going to work down. This is the top, this is the side. So we're going to work down the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to evenly crochet single crochets down the entirety of the blanket. So what I would advise you to do is put a single crochet into each row. So we're going to start with this very top stitch. So there is our first single crochet, and then the next stitch down the side, a single crochet, and then that next row, another single crochet, and then in our next row, another single crochet, and you're going to continue like this in each row, placing a single crochet down the side. Okay, it's very important that your left and right sides have the equal number of stitches so that your blanket won't get wonky. Okay, so I have worked my single crochets evenly down the side. Now I'm at the last 2 stitches. So I'm going to put a single crochet here. And now to work the corner stitch, I'm going to place 3 single crochets into this corner stitch. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stitch marker into the corner stitch into the center stitch, I'm sorry, of that 3 single crochet corner. And then now I am at the bottom, and I'm going to place a single crochet into each stitch of the bottom, keeping the hills and valleys in place. So in each stitch, okay? And then you're going to continue to work your border like that. So you're going to continue to the bottom all the way until you get to this corner. You're going to put 3 single crochets in your corner stitch, and then mark your center of the corner with a stitch marker. And then you're going to continue with the other side, evenly stitching just like you did previously. 1 single crochet into each row, and then you'll get to the next corner, place 3 single crochets into that corner stitch, and then place a stitch marker in the center of that corner, and then work 1 single crochet into each stitch at the top, and then we'll meet from there. Now I'm at the last stitch of this first round of borders, so I'm going to put 3 single crochets in this corner. So that's 2, that's 3, and I'm going to put my stitch marker in this center single crochet, and then I'm going to join right here with that first stitch with a slip stitch. Okay, now we're going to start round 2 of the border. So round 2 is the exact same as round 1. So I have my chain 1 that doesn't count as a stitch. I'm going to go in that first single crochet and single crochet, and I'm going to continue to do that all the way around my border. Now when I get to each corner, what we'll do, where you put your chain, where you put your corner stitch, your center corner stitch, you're going to take your stitch marker out, and you're going to put 3 single crochets into that corner and continue around. And after you put your 3 single crochets into that corner stitch, again you're going to mark your center stitch, and then we'll begin. After you finish, we'll start on round 4. Okay, so now I have just completed round 2 of my border. So now we're going to start the first round. So I've made a slip stitch into the beginning stitch of that border, and we're going to start with a chain 1, again not counting as a stitch, and we're going to do a single crochet into that same stitch. So there's our single crochet. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip the next stitch, which would be here, and we're going to single crochet in the following stitch. There we go. And then we're going to do another chain 3, skip the next stitch, and single crochet in the following stitch. And you're going to continue that all the way till you get towards the end. Once you get to the end, when you of this side, when you get to your chain, when you get to your corner center stitch marker, you are again going to place 3 single crochets into that stitch. After you place your 3 single crochets into that stitch, then you're going to do a chain 3, skip the next stitch, and single crochet, and continue in that way again. So again, let's do this one more time. We have our single crochet, chain 3, skip the very next stitch, and single crochet. When you get to your corner center stitch, you're going to put 3 single crochets in that one center stitch. Make sure you remark your center stitch, and then continue with the chain 3, skip a stitch, and then single crochet, and continue all the way around the blanket for your round 3. Okay, so now I am at the end of row 3. So I'm going to single crochet into that first, I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet that I started with and chain 3. So here's our slip stitch. Oh, let me get back in there. Up. There we go. Okay. So now we have right next to it our first chain 3 space, which is right here. So we're going to make a shell into that first chain 3 space. So we're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over, pull through. So there's our half double crochet. And then we're going to do 3 double crochets, all in that same chain 3 loop. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do a final half double crochet, still in that chain 3 loop. So you see that? Okay, now our shell is made. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 2 chain 3 spaces. So here's number 1, here's number 2. You're simply going to do a single crochet in the first one and a single crochet in the next one. Okay. And you're going to continue that pattern until you get to the corner. So in this next chain 3, you're going to make your shell, which is a half double, 3 doubles, another half double. Your shell is complete. So then the next 2 chain 3 spaces, you're going to put a single crochet in each chain 3 space. So there's the first one, there is the second one. And you're going to continue to do that until you get right before the corner, and then we'll meet there. So I've reached the last few stitches on this side before I get to my corner, which is here. So I've just done a shell in this one, and I have 2 chain 3 spaces remaining. So I'm going to put a single crochet in this one and a single crochet in the next chain 3 space. Now in my corner where I have the stitch marker, I'm going to put a single crochet. So it's right here, that's the center of my corner. So I'm going to put 1 single crochet right there. Okay, so now I've hit my corner. So now I'm going to do a single crochet in the next chain 3, single crochet in the next chain 3, and then we'll do our shell, which is at the half, 3 double crochets, another half to complete that shell, and then you're going to continue with that pattern, a single crochet in the next 2 chain 3 spaces. And that's how you're going to work all the way around your blanket. Now you may, just a little tip, you may get where maybe when you get to the next corner you don't have two things left, 2 chain 3s left. You just have to work it out the best you can where it looks nice, but just be certain that you put a single crochet in that central chain 3 spaces. So you may have to finagle it just a little bit, and you're going to continue that all the way until you go all the way around the blanket. Okay, so we have finished this absolutely lovely Playful Prisms baby blanket by Herrschners, and it has came out absolutely lovely. So thank you for watching. I'll see you again for the next Crochet Lab tutorial with Miracles Are Me Crochet. Have a great day. Bye-bye.